At least I remember that's what we did yesterday. Right, 147, your brain remembers emotion faster than facts. It's amazing how I told you the word that I was going to remember. Part of my promise that I made yesterday is amygdala. Amygdala is the part of the brain that I remember the name amygdala. And I know how to say it now, for now and forevermore. It's spelled so crazy, but it is the amygdala. The one that governs emotion. I think we'll even probably talk about the amygdala today. Let's see if it's in here. Yep, right here. The amygdala stores emotional significance. It's the emotion center of our brain, and I remembered how to say it. You should be proud of me. Right, your brain remembers emotions faster than facts. Guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And when we talk about our heart, we're probably talking about emotions more than anything. I'm not sure why that whole verse didn't highlight. Let's fix that. God help truth become stronger than emotional memory. Help truth become stronger than emotional memory. The truth is, emotional experiences leave deep impressions on the brain. That's why fear, shame, or rejection can return quickly, even when the current moment is different from the past. It's easy for those things to pull up because our brain remembers our emotions. It is centered more. They're stronger than any logic can ever be because it kind of rules it. It's the heart. It's where God allows us to love on folks, love on each other, love on ourselves, love on Him. It allows Him to love on us. And it's the part of our body that controls why we do many of the things we do. Say people, I think the saying is people, like if you're in sales, which I've been for a long time, people make decisions based on emotion and they support it by fact. We want to buy a beautiful car because the way it makes us feel when we see it, not because it saves on gas. That's how we justify it. Oh, this is a hybrid, so it's going to get me better gas mileage. But if it's an ugly car, you're probably not going to want it. Those slick machines that millionaires have, the Ferraris and the Porsches and the whatever, the Lamborghinis, and we desire those because of the way they make us feel, even looking at it. A person who experiences harsh criticism years ago may still feel nervous speaking up in meetings, even when the people around them are supportive. Their mind knows this room is different, but their body remembers what it felt like to be embarrassed, corrected, or dismissed. I think a lot of these things come from when we were in junior high or when we're in, kids can be so mean and so spiteful to each other because they're trying to find their place in the world and in what they feel like, because they don't understand, don't have the maturity to be able to deal with it. They feel like in order for me to feel good about me, I have to put you down. Some of us carry that into our adult livelihoods, and our emotions of how we feel about ourselves are determined by how we believe or we perceive others think about us. And as we talked about yesterday and many days before, is when we start believing, because when you go believing, there's a lie that's part of believing. And the lie that's part of believing is that we think that things are going to happen based on past reactions. But the lie is we absolutely don't know what's going to happen. We just believe it's going to happen. But the lie is we almost put that into this is going to happen. And the stronger we feel about it, the stronger that we feel about it, the more we care about that particular belief. We believe, if I were to say, I believe I'm going to turn on my computer and it's going to come on, and probably most likely 90% of the time when I flip that switch and it comes on. That doesn't take, could anything happen? Yes, I could push the button and there could be no electricity. I could push the button and I could go down this road of, it's got a virus on it, so it doesn't boot up properly, and then it turns off. And, I could go down 10 or 12 scenarios of why my computer probably won't turn on when I push the button. But it's not that important, so I don't care about it that much. But when we get the emotional connection to a belief that we believe is going to happen, even though we absolutely don't know our future, we begin to come up with reasons why whatever that belief is going to harm us and hurt us. And our brain, of course, wants to keep us safe. It doesn't want to keep us in harmony. It doesn't want to keep us in flourishment. It doesn't want to keep us in success. It wants to just keep us safe. And so whatever that end is, if I believe, hey, I know I got to be successful, I have to talk to others, but it doesn't feel safe to talk to others because when I was in junior high, when I talked to others, somebody made fun of me. And now my belief is just that, and I go down this whole road, as important it is to me, the need to speak. So the story here is there were times in my life when I could logically know I was safe, but emotionally still feel guarded. That used to frustrate me. I would think, why am I reacting like this? Nothing bad is happening right now. But over time, I learned that the mind and the body remember emotional experience deeply. And I've walked into opportunities that should have felt exciting. I can't wait to do this. But my body reacted with tension because of older experiences were still speaking. Maybe it was rejection, maybe it was criticism, maybe it was failure from previous season. And I might not be able to pinpoint exactly what it was or the time that it happened. But God began teaching me that healing is not pretending the old emotional memory never happened. Healing is allowing truth to meet that memory and teach my nervous system this moment is not that moment. This room is not that room. This opportunity is not that old wound repeating itself. That's where the maturity comes in. That's where why we do what we do every single morning becomes more prevalent in our lives. It's not denying that the things happen. It's not denying that there was trauma in our life if there was trauma in our life. It's saying that I am no longer going through that same trauma that I went through back then because things are different now. The way that the mind works is the hippocampus helps store contextual memory. When we talk about contextual memory, we talk about the memory that says, okay, because this happened, I have context, it will probably happen again. So our hippocampus helps to store that there. Where something happened, when it happened, and what surrounded it. I gotta say it again right here. Amygdala, yes, there we go. Amygdala stores emotional significance, especially fear, shame, and threat. This is why emotionally charged experiences become implicit memories, meaning the body may react before conscious reasoning fully catches up. Even chemicals are released when we go back to a time when we believe this is going to happen and that created some kind of fear or some kind of feeling or some kind of emotion. Our actual body feels a lot of that's happening. And the memories, meaning the body may react to before consciousness reasoning fully catches up. Emotional healing often involves helping the brain distinguish past threat from present safety. Past threat for present safety. So the heart condition here is your past may explain your reaction, but it does not have to control your response. Your past may explain your reaction, but it does not have to control your response. So the invitation here is what old emotion memory might be influencing how you respond today. What emotional memory, and if we can pinpoint maybe that memory or how it made us feel, we might not even have a vague thought of what that memory was, but we can pinpoint how it made us feel. We can say, that's how I felt then, this is how I felt now. So when a strong reaction rises, pause and ask, is this about now or is this about remembering that then? And if you can separate the two, then you can find safety in now where it wasn't safe before. So the short prayer today is, Father, help me bring old emotional memories into your healing presence. Teach my mind and body that I do not have to live today through yesterday's pain. Let truth become stronger than fear, and let peace become stronger than old wounds. The blessing that I'd love to share with you today is may God heal the memories that still speak loudly and teach your heart to feel safe in truth again. As we do every single day, there are three questions that I'm going to ask, and I'm going to put them in the chat for you. Do you think past experience can affect present reactions? And of course, our first question that we ask ourselves every day is an automatic yes. And if you don't have that yes, or that yes isn't a belief of yours right now, let's find out why. This explored a little more. What helps you recognize when an old wound is influencing today? What helps you recognize when an old wound is influencing today? And then the last question is, why is it important to let truth speak to emotional memory? Why is it important to let truth speak to emotional memory? All right, as we move into our